Dr. Katlago Matosa, and alongside me is Dr. Mike Ramatwala. And we are absolutely thrilled tonight to be your MCs. Welcome to our first annual Summer Gala Dinner. This is the first of its kind in our province, and we are honored indeed to have you all with us tonight.
Thank you, Kate. Colleagues, some of you are very serious. I don't know if maybe it's because the premier is here, you don't know how to act when the premier is around. But he's actually a very friendly man. So I hope that today we'll enjoy ourselves. That's the purpose of the evening, to enjoy ourselves. And part of enjoying ourselves means that we must not focus too much on our medical jargons. We must not focus too much on our political jargons. You know, Premier, one thing that I think I must tell you about doctors, it's our own little secret, you know. Doctors, even when they can say things simply, they want to complicate them. If a doctor can simply say, women in Limpopo are no longer dying because you are working hard. Although the doctor, no, the maternal mortality rate is drastically reduced. Like one. And if you start doing that, Lena Premier is a communist, and he will start with his own jargon. Tomorrow, Marxist dynamic tools of analysis show us that we are in a dynamic society. That's we should now again. So today we're having fun. We're celebrating our fellow doctors that have done very well for the province and who have put us on the map. So on that note, colleagues, I want to welcome one who has also assisted in putting us on the map. He was very happy when people started calling him to say, we saw you on Facebook, on Twitter. He's the one that gave anesthesia when they were doing the first open heart surgery at Mount Queen in a very long time, Premier. That is our Deputy Chairperson of SAMA, Dr. Felix Masinge. Is going to officially come here and welcome everyone. Can we give him a warm hand of welcome as he comes to the stage? Thank you.
To the Program Director, SAMA leadership, both provincial and national, the Allied Unions leadership, DINOSA, HOSPESA, and all those that are in here, the Federation leadership, members of the University of Limpopo Medical School, professors from Sfaxo Mahato University, blood-related colleagues, comrades in health fraternity, the sponsors, all invited guests, all protocol observed. I bring to you tonight the greetings and salutes from SAMA Limpopo branch. I realize that we're doing well in terms of time management. This reminds me of a friend who, by birth, was classified as an Indian. Once answered my question. I asked him, what time is it now? He said to you, my friend, I'm giving you a discount of 30 minutes. It's 5:30 instead of 6 o'clock. I need to be upfront by acknowledging that this gathering does not need an interpreter. Why? Is because I'm reminded of an occasion of such magnitude that the interpreter nearly spoiled our day. He interpreted as follows. I said, ladies and gentlemen, he said, Elizwe, I'm a gentleman. Some people are very good. Abanye abantu are very good. Some are honest. Abanye are honest. No one can deny this. Ageko ozedinwa hilene. It's just the same. It just the same. I then decided to get an alternate interpreter from the floor. Unfortunately, I spoke in Sepedi and he interpreted in English. I said, pen pen yalabisa. Give is too tiresome. Mutu uhona kitahai. A man can by Shakosha kilulu. Of the dance is the dust. Then I realized I quit. Then I tested this medical knowledge. As all of us here today, we are from the health sciences. I said, please, I wrote a letter, diarrhea. I said to him, please pronounce this for the audience. He pronounced it in Sepedi. Diarrhea, E-A. There are a lot of EAs at the back of diarrhea. Then diarrhea, E-A. Then I realized I cannot get an interpreter. On a serious note now, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor and a privilege for me as a deputy chairperson of SAMA to welcome you to such an important historical occasion. The first gala dinner of SAMA Limpopo branch. I do not want to steal the thunder from SAMA Limpopo branch and our guest speaker. However, I've come here tonight not to praise SAMA Limpopo branch, but to say to them, congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations for bringing the old and the young in one hall at the same time, where after the guest speaker has spoken, we are going to socialize. But don't forget, I'm married to a young person. Don't socialize with me. With those few words, I thank you.
Dr. Masinga, for that warm welcome. I'm sure that has opened up everybody's hearts and minds. We are ready to get the evening started. Without wasting any time, I'm going to welcome our PEC member representing the specialists in our province, Ms. Dr. Athale Dwawa, to acknowledge our guests, please.
Thank you, Program Director. I was shivering when he was talking, and I said to myself, oh, I must now start loosening up. And now I'm challenged to loosen up and actually be better than the previous speaker. But let me start with an idiomatic expression. And but modula took ipologi. I'm sure many of you will understand it. I'm given a task to introduce this, to talk about our guests. And I'm looking around and I find, in my tradition, I must look in the center of the crowd just to find out the Gwangwedla, the greatest people. And that is very interesting because in my borrowed tradition of English, the Gwangwedla di bakopeli, whereas it's supposed to be in the middle. And the reason for that is, in Sotho or in the African tradition, is that you protect them. But Bajula Choko are the soldiers. They are the one, when there's a problem, you start with them. Now I must just start with those that are in the periphery and introduce them. There's always in the church setup that we must start with a verse. I'm going to start with a verse, but this is not in the church. And this verse that I'm going to start with is a reading that I got that has been written 38 years ago. Having noticed that there are elderly people here and the young ones, I'm going to start far away and just read that verse. NAMDA, I think many of us understand that. National Medical and Dental Association. This is what I've got 38 years ago. It was written 38 years ago. We look like we're still on the right track. This concept of a gala dinner. And many of us, great people, will remember and today we celebrate this achievement of summer. After a long, is to acknowledge the most important people in our group. And also doesn't mean that I have not recognized you. The list, if they're not here or they're still coming, we will still acknowledge them. Principal of the Limpopo, I haven't seen him around. We're supposed or representative of Osatu here. Yes. Every one of you, you are important. Without you, this.
Very much. Colleagues, we found it important that we have this agenda item. Because you know, another day here in the country, things are rough. There's what we call commission here, PIC, commission into state capture. They are all here. And next thing, we don't want to make a mistake. This is the instruction I got from my secretary. Hey, I'm trying to myself this on the agenda. If you don't, next thing, what about how? But I'm trying to tell you, man, they are captured. What about the children? Summer is being captured by who? So no, we're disclosing who has sponsored this event, so that you don't take us to the commission of state capture and say we are captured by who. We are actually sponsored, colleagues, very fortunately so, by a very progressive bank, ABSA, and we are also sponsored by Abacon, Blue Star. Can the representative just come up? I think I'll give them a minute each, just to acknowledge the fact that they've really sponsored this event, and just to give a weight of whatever they would like to say to the seated guests. Can you please rise and come to the floor? I see the representative of ABSA is there. Can you come to the floor? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Program Director. To the Honorable Premier, Matawata, the Honorable MEC, Dr. Opopi Ramatuba, to the professors who are in this room tonight, the leadership of different unions, the leadership of the University of Limpopo, colleagues from ABSA, all the doctors in the room, Mushavi wo Kenny Matiwa, all the senior government officials and the leadership of SAMA, Lokowe, Riperi, Limadekwana, Tobe, good evening. My name is Stephen Chivase. I am the area manager for Polokwane and the Wembe area, looking after the private and business banking. And it is indeed that we are the sponsors, and we are not captured. We feel honored to be part of this gathering tonight and to have contributed towards this event and the previous one that was held beginning of the year. And we are happy that the young professionals or the young doctors who were inducted during the beginning of the year, we were part of it. And as ABSA, we pride ourselves with being an African company that support our African or our local initiatives. Hence, we felt that it's important that we come on board and be part of this gathering. Hence our theme, Africanacity. So, when we were approached to come on board, we didn't hesitate to come on board because we felt like we just don't want to be a banking partner for the doctors. We just don't want to be a banking partner for Limpopo government. We want to be part of the local initiatives. Hence, we are here tonight. So as ABSA, we would like to take this opportunity to congratulate all the recipients or everyone who will receive awards tonight. We would like to say to you, well done. We are proud of you, and we are happy that you are contributing towards the development of this province. To say to all the doctors in the province, we have seen the good work that you are doing. Continue to do that, and we will continue to be your banking partner. We will continue to be the banking partner of this province, and we will continue to support such initiatives to uplift our communities. So we came with some token of appreciation, which I'm sure the program directors will deal with it later, but we will be here for the rest of the night, me and my colleagues over there, Kwanele and Zila. So I don't want to go into details in terms of what we do in the bank, I'm sure you all know. But those that would like to engage us later, we will be here for the rest of the night. And lastly, I would like to say, you all look beautiful and enjoy the rest of the night. Thank you.
Don't have our other sponsor here. Okay, no, thank you very much. Colleagues, let me call my partner in crime. She has prepared something, a brief history on SAMA. I want her to give us this brief history of SAMA and what SAMA seeks to achieve. As we are about to welcome our chairperson, the very friendly, ever smiling, ever laughing Dr. Maweya. Dr. Matosa, can you please come and do the presentation?
The South African Medical Association, as we know it today, was formally constituted on the 21st of May in 1998 as a unification of a variety of doctor groups that had represented a diversity of interests. Today, SAMA is a non-statutory professional association for public and private sector medical practitioners. That is just a short history of where SAMA comes from. And on that note, we'd like to welcome Dr. Maweya on stage.
Tonight, and lastly, I would like to say you all look beautiful and enjoy the rest of the night. Thank you.
And I'm used to calling you comrade, but today no, it's not comrade. Thanks very much, program directors. And I would like to, I'm not introducing anybody, but I would like to acknowledge the presence of our Honorable MEC and our Honorable Premier. It's really an honor to have these two people in one gathering. This is not, if I may remind, this is not the first one, Mira. You remember MEC, we had one at Bilabila. I don't know when was it, but some years back, where we acknowledge our own. I remember the old doctor from Toyando, one of the GPs there has been, just that one was not honored by big people, it was only us. Okay, thanks very much, colleagues. I would like to acknowledge my BCM. BCM is branch council members. Before I start, Secretary General. You know,
Muira was introduced to me by Sadiq. And I used to call them my boys. We're always partners in crime, in everything. Always I am. But the one thing which I liked about them, they would tell me where I'm wrong and where I'm right. Sadiq was even worse. You know, I would sit me down and say, Chief, that is wrong, you can't continue like that. And I'll actually listen. Muira is one of the hardest working young men I've ever seen. I give him a concept, he ran with it, like what you see today. I said to him, we must have a gala dinner. Then I said to him, he said, who must we invite? And we said there, we said, okay, you invite the following people. And then every time would be talking to me, running everything with me. And then at the end, at some stage, we were only 2, 3 people, 4 people with Masinga. Masinga, the problem is the technology. You know, the 4th industrial revolution. We leave Masinga out. And Dr. Lidawa as well. You know, you have to phone them to say, I've sent a WhatsApp. Dr. Lidawa doesn't even have a WhatsApp. But my young lions here, Mpumo, Ramtwala, Matosa, Nisi, I don't know where she is, but she's somewhere around. Yes. And the most, Emma is the engine of Sam in the office. And the day when we interviewed her, it was myself, Muira, and we had to do that interview in one day. And we were all in agreement. Even though sometimes I have a little bit of influence, but because I was chairing the interview. But at the end, everybody realized that I didn't make a mistake. I'm good at picking people. Emma is one of, she's an engine, honestly speaking. She's available anytime. She's so respectful. I really salute her, honestly speaking. She deserves a bonus. Okay, colleagues, Sama Ayem Matosa. Now I want to tell you about Sama Lipompo. Sama Lipompo, in the previous time, it was not well represented. It started in 2012 when Dr. Ramatuba was the president of SAMAT. I don't think she's going to do what we did then. I won't remind the people, but I think it's, yeah, I won't remind them. We had to actually make SAMAT to be representative. But I think I'm safe here to say what I have to say. The issue is, it was belonging somewhere in some office of a particular doctor, historically advantaged doctors. But the MEC felt, then she was a president of SAMAT. She felt, no, it's not well placed. Can we take over this organization? The rest is history. I won't tell you what we did, what she did. It was really an art of work. And it happened. That's why today you are sitting here acknowledging each other. 7 from the treasure. That note, it's a menace. Because all these doctors that were trying to recruit, the specialists, it takes long. Prof. Shiflad, I don't think you still remember, when I interviewed him. When was it with Masinga? 2014. Somewhere around 15 or 16. Yes. But he started work when? Last month, if I'm not mistaken. Not 7. Please give us a present today to say that the Department of Health has got capacity. They've shown you that they can do first things first, being leadership.
My task is a simple one. I don't think I need to introduce the first citizen of the province, because the first citizen is known by all of you. There is, in a way, that as the health sector, we can simply forget and not remember the person who, when the Department of Health at some stage, I think I remember, we were about not to get salaries. I was still on the other side with you, Kosatu, and we were throwing stones at government, and we nearly didn't get the salaries, and the national government, the ANC-led government, I must not lie to you, so it's necessary to make an intervention and recall him from where he was to come here and rescue us, and he did rescue us. And as a province, maybe if I'm to looking at our sector, Dr. Masingi, today we are celebrating that we've got a medical school. This, whether you like it or not, it happened during his administration. I remember very well 2015, Mohali, I'm not sure if you were already writing the speeches. I was still a doctor in Fort Trekker, and I listened to the speech. He says, we want to establish a medical school, and it was not established. And when he invited me to join his cabinet, one of the instructions was to make sure that this thing which you continuously postpone year in, year out, I want it to happen in my lifetime. And I can tell you we owe it to him that we do have a medical school today as a province. And the person I'm introducing to you, when he took over this sector, because it is his sector, we are here to serve because of his support. When Dr. Ramthwala say whatever he's saying, he knows for a fact one would not have delivered that if we did not have a supportive leader. When he presents his state of the province, you must listen carefully. For instance, when he says our HIV and AIDS transmission, mother to child, at that time was 4.9%. He was simply telling us that we have to bring it down. And today, under your leadership, under the leadership of the person I'm presenting to you, we are at 0.77%. And remember, he's the chairperson of the Limpopo AIDS Council, which today can pride itself to say we've got more than 360,000 people living positively on ARVs, wherein 87% of those have their viral load suppressed, meaning they are not going to be sick. These are people who could have buried, but today they are alive, and we owe it to his leadership. We owe his leadership that TB cure rate in this province. It's now 83%. This year, during the state of the province, Mohali phoned me and said, you say you want to appoint specialists, and he's here, I'm not lying. What are their role, what are you going to do? And I think if you remember his speech, he said in his state of the province, this is not me, go and read that speech, that we are going to make sure that we perform operations that normally will not be operated in the province. He was very clear to say we are going to make sure we do cardiac operations. I didn't know that he was a prophet. I had no clue that our premier that is why today when we have Prof. Mariba here, our cardiologist in the province, that is why today when we have Prof. Muthala knows I went and I sobbed and I cried in front of him, because I was saying my boss gave me a task, an indicator which I didn't know where to start to implement. But indeed, Thursday evening, when many of you were celebrating Good Friday, Easter weekend with your loved one, Prof. Muthala, together with his team from the private sector, he brought his team, some flew them all the way from Durban to make sure that indeed Dr. Ramatuba goes to the premier and say, I have done an open heart surgery. We really would want to thank him. If he did not push us in that, pushing us, not shouting at us, but pushing us in that very fatherly, friendly, and womanly voice. This is the person that I'm presenting to you. That when you talk about your success story, you must know that there is a person, there's brains behind. The brains behind is my leader. If I had a different leader, believe me, I'm telling you honestly, I would not have achieved, we would not have done what we have done. Because the leader who is not supportive would be dictating to us, do this and that. But he will tell you to say, I want a result. That's what he wants. He wants to see results. As to how do you do that, he doesn't want to know. You must produce results. So ladies and gentlemen, we are so blessed and fortunate as a province, as Limpopo, for you as doctors, during this very busy and hectic time, that he should be on Trovela FM as we speak, but he has to deploy one of us. This morning, Premier, I was in Guyana representing you on the Health Manifesto. Little did I know that indeed, when we grew up, The only doctors, some of us who are coming from up north, was Dr. Ramashuba, Prof. Mariba, Dr. Patela. Do you still have any? I can't remember more. We were only that, but today, because of this very same government, every second household has got a doctor in their household. And we need to appreciate that, to say, this is the government that is able to produce as many doctors as we do today, and we need to celebrate that. So our premier is not just an ordinary person. He is a tried and tested, a political activist. He's an MK, a soldier. He knows how to use a gun. Believe me, he knows how to use it. He joined the movement when it was not fashionable. The 1976 class is one of those. When you read about it, you must know that you are reading about our premier. You know that this is a person who has led MK even in this province for quite a number of years. He has led the African National Congress. Dr. Ramtwala says, I'm a communist. I took it from him. He's currently the serving Central Committee member of the South African Communist Party, the highest structure within the country of the Communist Party. He's leading that. And he's also a scholar. Don't think over here we are dealing with a person who has read. Hey, don't come with stories. You're not 7. He knows it in and out, Dr. Mawe. It's not by mistake that note 7 was there. It was to promote governance so that we can be able to do that. And we believe, we are all happy when we look back to say, had he not put such measures, we would be going down as a department. Remember, we were under Section 100. We need to be pulled out. He pulled out of Section 100, and we are where we are today. This is a scholar who has been to the University of Western Cape, who has been to the University of Limpopo, who has been to Harvard. He's an internationalist. We're not talking about adults here. We're talking about people who have been to school. I don't know what more to can, but there is a lot. If I can start to talk about my boss, I am privileged to work under his leadership, under his guidance and supportive. Ladies and gentlemen, can we all rise and welcome the Premier of Limpopo Province, Honorable Stanley Chupu Mataba, Tabariki Mafatia Khabirwa Amorasu. Mato, babetele mato wale mukulu kwana. All of you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We may be seated. Program directors, our provincial chairperson, Dr. Maweye. You know, when you were talking here, I was looking at the bar there. Unfortunately, the whiskey was very far, but it was looking very appetizing and relevant. The leadership of SAMA in its entirety, our MEC for Health, Dr. Popi Ramatua, leadership of COSATU, our Director General, Ntatena Pinchabele, acting HOD for the Department of Health, Professor Matom Halom, representatives of the sponsors, APSA, and other sponsors. You know, when APSA came here, I was just about to ask my doctor friend there as to where is APSA. I didn't think that was APSA until he started talking. And then he said, we are a wholly African bank. I said, they are, indeed they are a wholly African bank. But I then asked myself, who is APSA? had this event happened something like 27 years ago, what would have happened? Who would have been here on behalf of ABSA? Would that person still be proud to be African? I'm sure that they would have said, we are a truly Afrikaner bank. But thanks to this democracy, because sometimes you cannot see the impact of this democracy as to what is it that this revolution brought to this country. ABSA is truly today African. That is why they are also holding the provincial account in this province. If I'm not mistaken, even the Premier is a client of that bank. Esteemed ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Tobe, Dimategwa, Liperi, Huyenan. Hey, why are we all so quiet? Let me start by expressing my appreciation to the leadership of the South African Medical Association for indeed being so generous to can invite us to be part of this event. I feel in particular truly honored to be part of this history-defining gala dinner. I am and have been advised that this is an inaugural gala dinner, which is expected to be a midwife of many more annual gala dinners to follow. I am deliberately speaking of many more gala dinners to follow because I'm confident about the future of SAMA as an organization, given your profile of activities, of course. I'm certain that SAMA will live for many more years to come because it is an organization with purpose and clear vision. From your inception, you have defined your vision as that of striving for the unity of doctors in the interest of the health of our nation. Your vision is very broad. It is not merely about the narrow interest of members of SAMA. Your broad vision is about the health of this nation as a whole. That is a vision we support as government. It is for this reason that we are always happy to associate with the activities of the organization. I can also speak with confidence in saying that as SAMA, you are a true parliament of the South African doctors. I am saying this because there is no any other organization of doctors which comes any closer to your organization with regard to the membership. The last time we interacted with your records, you were a proud home of over 70% of doctors in this country. That is how big and powerful you are as an organization. Obviously, what makes SAMA to be such an attractive organization for doctors are the values and principles that makes the DNA of the South African Medical Association. You would agree with me that one of the most visible birthmarks of SAMA is its progressive outlook. It is not by accident that as SAMA you are part of the broader mass democratic movement through your affiliation to the Congress of South African Trade Union. As you would know, COSATU remains the biggest, most militant yet highly disciplined worker-controlled federation. From its inception, COSATU has identified itself with the progressive forces that are about fundamental change in the society. In particular, COSATU said they stands for the improvement of the material conditions of the working people as a whole, and to ensure that worker participation in the struggle for peace and democracy is realized. It is in so doing, transforming the society from one social order to another. Hence, you call yourself a revolutionary organization or federation, as COSATU. At a more specific level, you would agree with me that what has sustained your organization for all these years are the principles of innovative and quality leadership, organizational vibrancy, embracing the spirit of Ubuntu, and above all, professionalism at all times. These are the principles and values you must continue to expose if you want this inaugural gala dinner to be the first of 100 more to come. Never, and never, and never ever compromise professionalism. Irrespective of what Dr. Popi Ramatuba says, Dr. Maweya, professionalism in their field is very, very, very critical. It's key. You know, there is this joke that if a teacher commits a mistake, Mwanawa failure or repeat. But if a doctor commits a mistake, Mwanawa Sokofa, then you give the priest a chance to eat. Because utayo molo. And we don't want that. Hence, I'm saying never ever compromise on professionalism, irrespective of whatever, including Note 7. Ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, this dinner and award ceremony takes place under the theme that seems to locate the role of medical practitioners in the transformation of the health system towards a quality health care. I think the leadership should be applauded for crafting such an imposing theme. The theme itself has already located you in the trenches of the struggle for the transformation of the healthcare system in the country. And not only in the country, but in our province also in particular. I think all of you would know that this transformation does not take place in a vacuum or outside of contesting forces. Transformation itself or in itself as a phenomenon is a process of struggle. The reason why a struggle is called a struggle is because of the inherent contradictions which you would find in every struggle or in every revolution. For an example, the struggle for good health is always waged against the ever-present realities of infirmity, diseases, and disabilities. This is the case with any process of struggle. You would know that the struggle to liquidate the apartheid system was waged against a vicious regime which sought to maintain what was the status quo then. And that status quo was about the preservation of the white privileges. The same thing is happening with the struggle for the transformation of health system. While so many of our people are supportive and cannot wait for a transformed public health care system, there are those who are pulling to a different direction. I can tell you now that the struggle to transform the healthcare system will be as intense as the struggle to liquidate apartheid was. What we should never downplay is the fact that there are so many vested interests in this regard. The truth is that the current unaccommodative and expensive healthcare system work well for other people. There are those whose bread is buttered by the inequalities of the current system. They thrive on the suffering of our people. These are the people or the forces that will stand in opposition to any agenda that seeks to alter the status quo. They will oppose everything, including the envisaged national health insurance. Instead of contributing ideas as to how we can make the NHI work better, they will overload us with a mountain of reasons why the initiative cannot work. We must therefore be vigilant against such forces and against such tendencies. Comrades and friends, our battle cry has always been about developing a national health system which would offer affordable health care. You would know that through the RDP, the Reconstruction and Development Program, the ANC and its alliance partners committed to focus more on primary health care to prevent disease and promote good health. Remember, this was the document that this ruling party used as a Bible when it went into government. In particular, what it said was that we will build a national health system which would achieve some of the following priorities. 1, give free medical care to children under 6 years. 2, improve maternity care for women. Thank you very much. It is just unfortunate that I'm left with only 3 weeks. I would remember you in my prayers. Three, provide free services to disabled people, aged people, and unemployed people. Initiate programs to prevent and treat major diseases like TB and AIDS. Give women the right to choose whether to have an early termination of pregnancy. Improve and expand medical health care, and run special education programs on health, aimed particularly at young people. These are the ideals of the the Reconstruction and Development Program, as developed and passed in 1992, I suppose. I think I can say here with full confidence that with regard to most of these items I have mentioned, we are doing exceptionally well as a nation. This progress is owed to our doctors, majority of whom, like I've already said, 70% are members of SAM. As doctors, you are the driving engines of our healthcare system. It is for this reason that a partnership between organizations such as SAM and the government is always a winning partnership. Without this partnership, there can be no progressive healthcare system to talk about. Program Director, I am equally advised that tonight is also about conferring of awards to some deserving medical practitioners whose work continue to make us proud. I am happy and excited and also elated to be part of this important award ceremony. I am advised that part of this award categories will include the continued professional development. You would agree with me that there is no need to overemphasize the significance of this category. As we all know, that the real challenge for all living creatures is continuous development. This is befitting. It is befitting that we must always make time to recognize those who do research in an effort to interact with latest trends in the field. This is what true development is all about. I am also particularly happy that these awards will also recognize those who have served the public service with loyalty and distinction for a period of more than 10 years. This is a very important category indeed. I am saying this because as we all know, the challenges in the public sector is retention of skill. Where we succeed to attract it, that is skill, we struggle to retain such skill. Or even sustain it sometimes. Like you correctly mentioned that you recruit a professor from elsewhere, you come to Mankwe. The first thing that he meets when he goes to work is sometimes people chasing a bull, which may even at times be very, very, very hazardous to him. And not only that, even the infrastructure, as you correctly said. So for us to keep them, we need to up our game also, so that we can sustain and retain this talent. I can therefore say, without fear of any contradiction, that this category recognizes those who are in the sector for service and not for glitter and glamour. We salute you, and we hope to retain you for 10 more other years and beyond. The other significant category is that of those doctors who work in other provinces yet make efforts to come and perform some work in our province for zero fees. These are the selfless cadres in the struggle to build a healthy nation. We salute you for your selflessness and boundless generosity. We know that your efforts will not be televised, but be guaranteed that you are noticed. I am also told that other category to be recognized will be the category of medical pioneers. Without saying a lot about this category, I only want to say that I am very happy with what I have been reading in the newspapers in the last few days. I think we can keep it up and make Limpopo is the future. And what we have done in the past few days says we are here, and South Africa, Africa and the world must watch the space for Limpopo. Program Director, I want to conclude by once again thanking you for your audience. More importantly, I want to thank and salute the leadership of SAMA in the province for a powerful partnership with government. I know that there are challenges in the sector which require our collective attention, Dr. Mawe. However, I'm convinced that no challenge is above our collective abilities to resolve. Hence, I said, when I started, that the struggle against apartheid and the struggle or whatever revolution that you find is based on contradictions. That is why, maybe to come to what you are warning us against, that is why some of the philosophers and revolutionaries that came before us wrote and said, for you to get development, you must first get a thesis and an antithesis. Knowing very well that the contradiction of this thesis and the antithesis will produce what you would call a synthesis. A synthesis which may either be qualitative or quantitative. And Mao Zedong of China says, if it comes as a quantitative change, it is the task of cadres such as you, revolutionary intellectuals such as you, to transform that quantity into quality, and vice versa. Why vice versa? Vice versa because we want to produce a good quantity of qualities. And that is the society that we want in a revolution. That is why we are saying the task of revolutionaries is to transform the society from one mode of production to another, or transform the society from one social order to another. From one, it may be from one backward mode of production or social order to a new social order. That is why another revolutionary intellectual called Karl Marx with his friend Friedrich Engels came with something that they called dialectical materialism. And they said, amongst the three laws of this dialectical materialism, there is something called the negation of the negation. Meaning that the old will be replaced by the new. And that can only happen if you don't compromise on professionalism. Thank you very much.
Thank you, colleagues. And understanding theories. No one can do that better than him. Colleagues, now we have come to the main part of
the previous struggle with my son and the doctor friend sitting there. so I understand my name is a bit difficult, Premier. I'm Sishoka. My surname is William. I think we're talking about the last sentiments. You reminded me of something that Karl Marx once said. It relates to the unity, the concept of unity and struggle of the opposites, which is the essence of the dialectics. And that's what defines the nature of the relationship we have with the Department of Self. I know I did it deliberately because I know that there will be very few who will understand what I'm talking about. But in that is main, colleagues, what I'm trying to say is that the relationship we have with the Department of Health, and I know that many times we've been accused, MEC, of being drinking tea with you, is that of saying that there will be times when we are united, like today, and there will be times wherein it will be the MEC this side and Mawea this side. That is the nature of the relationship that we have with the Department of Health. And the reason why it's like that, it's simply because of the professionalism that the Premier has spoken about. It's very difficult to sustain a strike of doctors, Premier. for longer than 3 days. You can do it for a day, and this is our weakness, because the NEC has realized that now if they go on strike, after a day or two, the conscience will come back, but what about those babies? What about casuals and so on and so forth? So that is the weakness we have, and that is because of the professionalism that Dr. Kwinda, the HPCSA. NEC, Professor Mukhaloma has not yet arrived. He sent an apology, still dealing with the issue at the university, and the students want a bar there. So he's still addressing them on that particular matter. The leadership of COSATU, the chairperson was summoned in Pretoria, so he sent his apology. All protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen, and I must say, doctors today look proper. It's not so common to find doctors on heels and stuff, and still, because of the nature of business we do. And today here they are with ties, Dr. Mangena, looking very beautiful in the white shirts. So we need to keep it up, colleagues. And Dr. Masing as well. Everyone was asking us, how did we get to this old man to dress up? Colleagues, my task is a simple yet very significant one. The Premier has already highlighted the categories which we will be having for these awards. This was an event put together by the Department of Health, SAMA, with the assistance of APSA. Lancet is here as well. You can see the boss is busy with the tie, and also Abacon Blue Star, they are not here today. So this event is purely to finally get inspired tonight. So you will stand here, and then you will give to them, the recipients of the awards, this packet. But you can be closer to the previous one, it's still fine. Colleagues, the second one is to the only nephrologists that we have in the province, and in the public sector for that matter. Currently running the renal dialysis unit in the province, as well as acting as the head of clinical department of internal medicine. He presented to us, I think, on the same CPD meeting, the renal complications of malaria. And that cannot be anyone else except Dr. Mangena. So the other thing that is good about him, and not to say that those who do it is bad. I've never seen him in the private sector. I always see him in the government. Not to say that those who are going to private sector is bad, but I'm just saying that for this comrade, this cadre, I'm yet to see him there. Thank you, Dr. Mangena. Colleagues, the third person is not around. It's Professor Zakaria Poto from SMU. I nearly said prophet. Professor Zek Poto. This is the guru of laparoscopic surgery and well respected in his field. He presented to us last year an approach to a polytrauma patient. It was one of the CPD meetings that Bolivia Lodge, afterwards they complained to say that no, you told us it's only 100 people who are coming, and we saw something like 190, 200 people. That is the nature of the person he is. Unfortunately, he could not be with us today because he's running exams in the University of Cape Town. So we'll keep the award. We can give him a round of applause. Colleagues, the last one in this category is a family physician, a medical bioethicist, and the current ombudsman of the Health Professions Council of South Africa. He presented to us the topic. I don't know why he's standing up because I'm not done. He presented to us the topic of ethical conduct of practitioners. That was last year. And of importance, ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Premier, he became a superintendent of a hospital at the age of 30. That was immediately post-community service. That was in 2004. when the requirement to occupy such a post was 8 years. That was before OSD. So what the MEC is doing now, it's not so new, it's the history being rewritten. And he turned that particular hospital around. I don't know if Dr. Chikovi is here. Okay, she's not here. But Dr. Chikovi is the current superintendent of that hospital, where Dr. Kwinda worked as the superintendent of that hospital. He's also a pastor. Welcome, Pastor. Let's sustain the round of applause. Thank you, Dr. Peter. The next category, colleagues, is that of honor, of loyalty to the public sector. And this, when we were discussing it, it was not an easy one. It was not an easy one because we are many, and we have contributed to the system, to the public health sector in many different ways. And having said that this is the first, surely next year we would have different crew of colleagues coming to receive the awards. Colleagues, I am not going to waste any time. We will start with an orthopedic surgeon who qualified in 1989. Some of us were not born by that time. Worked at Kruduk Hospital 1991 to 1996 and Liwahomo Hospital. He did orthopedic outreach at Mankweng Hospital from 1993 to 2009, and he stopped for this or that reason. Now, of importance, and this is, to me, when I heard this, it was a shock. He resigned from the public sector. And you know what was the reason, Premier? He said he was being overpaid. And I know that this is very unpopular. I must leave. I must resign. And that is the reason, believe it or not, that is the reason why he left the public sector. Honorable Premier, I've got the pleasure of calling upon Dr. Lidwaba, Arthur Lidwaba. You can sustain it. So Dr. Lidwaba also happens to be part of the leadership of SAMA. He's the oldest in the branch. And he's the one most of the time when I'm fighting with Dr. Mawe. He will call us to his office and say, no, but what is the problem? What is the problem, colleagues? Oh, he's the one, okay, that is also something commendable. He's the one taking care of the bones of the Premier. When you see the Premier still able to walk, you know, it's because of Dr. Lidwaba. He may be having some of the implants somewhere, we never know. Thank you, Dr. Lidwaba. Colleagues, the second one is a general surgeon who qualified in 1992 in Cuba and came to South Africa in August 1996. Premier as part of that program of Fidel Castro and Nelson Mandela of medical exchange. He worked in Limpopo from 1996 to 2006. He worked in Mukopane Hospital, Mankweng Hospital, and Petersburg Hospital. He then obtained South African Fellowship of Surgeons qualification in 2010, and in 2014 he proceeded to get a certificate of trauma subspecialty. And he's currently the only trauma surgeon we have in the province and the head of the general surgery department. Dr. Monzon, I think he's quite tall and a giant. Let's sustain it, colleagues. So the good thing, like I've said, I think, well, I was saying this when we were still briefing the Premier, that doctors will work with mob psychology. You treat one well, chances are you will come with 5 more. We treated him well, and he came with the wife. The wife is the anesthetist, and she increased the number of anesthetists that we have in the program. So we've got a couple in Petersburg Hospital. Dr. Monzon, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sure. Colleagues, the third one, he's not around, but this is the current head of ENT department at Petersburg and Mankweng Hospital, He could not be with us because he had something urgent to attend to. That is Dr. Umoding. I don't know if Dr. Stoll is here. Is Dr. Stoll here? Okay, not here. Okay, that's fine. Oh, Dr. Stolish is here. Please do come, and maybe this will be the only opportunity you shake the hand of the Premier before these 3 weeks comes to an end. You can come and receive the award on behalf of Dr. Umoding. We can give a round of applause. Let's sustain it, colleagues. So Dr. Stolle works in ENT department. She's one of those that soon will be going to school to do ENT and surely come back in Limpopo and serve the people of. You can take a picture as well. Yes, the MEC is saying that when she applies for a registrar post, she must just attach the picture to say that the Queen is. Colleagues, we have another cadre, very funny yet very strict and dedicated. Qualified as an anesthetist in 2006 and worked in Limpopo ever since. He produced about 41 diplomas. That is diploma in anesthesia. Premier, not diplomas as in this. Diploma, and that is because that's what we can only produce at the current stage, of which if we were given the full accreditation, surely we would have converted these 41 to anesthetists. And also about 11 of those medical officers wrote primary successfully and they passed under his guidance. He has special interest in neonatal anesthesia and has participated in multiple operations performed on these neonates. Neonates, these are the small babies. So it's quite difficult to put them to sleep before an operation. And majority of anesthetists are not comfortable. Yes, they know, but most of them will not be so comfortable because anything can happen there. But this guy is brave. He has been doing these babies. He has done more than 200. He has done more than 200 of these babies. And ladies and gentlemen, this cannot be anyone else except the man himself, Commander, the first mayor of Tanin from 1984. You must see the beautiful wife as well. This is Dr. Masinga. You can proceed.
Thank you.
She's the one who understands when you live in
Congratulations.
Thank you. Let's sustain that round of applause, colleagues. Thank you, colleagues. Thank you. Now, we have another cadre, and there's a reason why I'm calling some of them cadres, because I know I got the privilege to go through their CVs, and I could see that, oh, so we've got comrades here. We've got people who were part of the struggle, and you know, they come now claim to know politics and stuff. And we've got people who have been in the field. He qualified as an internal medicine specialist in 1989 and worked in various hospitals within and outside the province. He retired, I think, last year as the head of clinical department of internal medicine. Notably, he's amongst the first doctors to establish the ANC Health Desk at Shell House. I don't know if some of you know where Shell House is, but we'll have that discussion outside. He's also amongst the founders of this organization, South African Medical Association, and that is Professor Ratzila. I hope he's here. All right. Do we have a internal medicine person, Dr. Mangena? May you please come back again and receive on his behalf. We can give him a round of applause. Right. So you're going to take a picture as well on his behalf? Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Mangena. Colleagues, the next one qualified in 1990 as a pediatrician, worked in Letaba Hospital where Ramthwala is working currently, between 1992 and 1997. Became the head of pediatrics and child health, Mankweng Petersburg Hospital Complex in 1998. Even today, she's still the head and very strong. And she's one of those, when they are on call, they come to the hospital. They don't do calls over the phone, they come to the hospital. Of note, Premier, is that Pediatrics and Child Health Department is the most well-run department amongst all the clinical departments we have in the province. And this is not only from us, SAMA or Department of Health, but even HPCSA when they came recently, pediatrics was tops. Since 1998, she's not just there, seeing patients, she's also producing specialists. She has managed to produce 9 pediatricians. And out of that 9 colleagues, 8 of them are still in the public sector. 8 of them, full-time in public sector. Obviously, there are some that they started trading here and then they left and so on and so forth. She also produced 4 pulmonologists, of which 2 are still here in Petersburg Hospital, with Prof. Ratsila as well in that particular area. So these are super specialists. Resign. And in trying to decentralize the pediatric services, successfully so, colleagues, there's a pediatrics department in Chizino Hospital now that is training registrars. Letaba Hospital, I think, is the same. Mokopane Hospital, the clinical manager is working on it together with the professor. I have the honor of presenting to you the mother of many to us, Professor Shipala. She has taught even the MEC, and she was very, very strict. She was very, very strict. We can sustain it, colleagues. Can sustain it. So I don't know the picture, if you will ever put it on the CV, because I don't think you're going to apply for any job. Thank you, colleagues. Let's give her another round of applause. Yeah, we don't want Dr. Lidwaba to be having to address the issue of both. So, yeah. But colleagues, struggling as she is in terms of climbing the stairs, in the hospital, she's always there. I do go to the hospital at times on weekends and on holidays. And when she's on call, she will be literally on site in the hospital and busy with the small babies trying to put drips and so on and so forth. Colleagues, we have another cadre, qualified as a general surgeon in 2004, other than Medunsa, worked in Limpopo at Jean First Hospital in 1994 to 1997, then Petersburg Mankweng Hospital Complex from 1997 to present. Notably, he has many publications that he made, and one of them, MEC, it was basically on the cost of cancellations of cases in theater. He has a study that has been published to demonstrate that when you cancel a case, it costs the state even more money. That is there. It was published on the SAMJ, if I'm not mistaken. And colleagues, this is the cadre who continues to work with us at Mankweng Hospital. And that cannot be anyone else except Professor Buyane, MMZ. He doesn't normally wear a tie. Today I was shocked to see him wearing a tie. I was shocked. Thank you. We can give him another round of applause. Colleagues, we have another cadre, and this is contrary to the popular view
that Sama does not like human doctors and this and that. He qualified as an internal medicine specialist in Cuba in 1993. He moved to South Africa in 1997, March, as part of that program of Nelson Mandela and Fidel Castro. He has been working at Chizino Hospital ever since. Even today, he's still working at Chizino Hospital. He even knows how to speak Venda. He even knows how to speak Venda. I've seen him do it. I was like, oh wow. He has taught, amongst others, Dr. Ndwamad, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, that is Dr. Quinda. This one was taught by him. Yes, yes, Dr. Quinda, to be a family physician. He's currently heading internal medicine department at Chizino Hospital as well as the intensive care unit. And colleagues, this cannot be anyone else except Dr. Armando Sanchez Canal. So, Premier, when we talk about HIV and TB in the province, he's one of the leading people in terms of having interest in that particular space, including MDR-TB. So the space at which he works in is quite risky, but he has maintained that stamina to stay there and everything. So these are the colleagues who have been very loyal to Limpopo province and to the public sector in particular. Dr. Sanchez. Congratulations. Thank you. We can give him another round of applause. The last one is basically Professor Chifularo. No, why is Professor Chifularo, Professor Mashudu and Professor Enchifa? What are you doing to my mind? The last one is Dr. Stekman. Dr. Stekman could not be with us. This is the only, not the only, one of the 3 ophthalmologists that we have in the province. He's still working in the public sector at FH Odendal Hospital. He could not be with us because of bereavement in the family. So we'll receive the award on his behalf. We can give him a round of applause, please. We come to the second last category. Now, these are the colleagues who are not necessarily employed in the province of Limpopo, but they continue to add hope to the patients and the people of Limpopo and the Department of Health. These are the people who come to this province at no cost to the department. To come and assist us in many different ways. The first one is a qualified general surgeon and pediatric surgeon in 2007 and 2011 respectively. Once worked in Mankweng Hospital, I think in 2008 and 2012. Currently working at Dr. George Mukaro Hospital, yes. But still continues to do community outreach at Mankweng Hospital. He remains, of note, colleagues, the first black pediatric surgeon in South Africa. The first black pediatric surgeon in South Africa, and there are still very few. Colleagues. The outreach, he does it on a monthly basis, and he has been doing this outreach ever since I knew about Mankweng Hospital. And even tomorrow, as we speak, Premier, he has got cases that are booked. When we leave here, he's going home to sleep, and tomorrow early hours in the morning, he will be operating those babies in Mankweng Hospital. And he does this at a zero cost, zero fee. Professor Chifularo, you can come closer. I fought with your brother when I said I got your number from Professor Chifularo. The other one said, no. When did he become a professor? When did he become a professor? So I was like, hey, you know what, those maybe are family dynamics which I'm not aware of. But to us, he remains a professor simply because of the work that he's doing to the province and that he has been doing. And colleagues will contribute. The second colleague is Professor Machize. Professor Machize could not be with us simply because he's out of the country attending to other academic matters. He qualified as an orthopedic surgeon, I think, in 2014, if I'm not mistaken. And the MEC tried to recruit him to come and work in this province when she got in the office in 2016. And Prof. Machize said, no. I cannot come to the province of Limpopo and work there full time. And the reason for that was because he had a bigger mandate. And that mandate is to transform University of Free State in Bloemfontein. the orthopedics department, and that was the reason why he could not come this side. But the MEC continued to talk with him, and he said, it's fine, I can give you outreach program. And he has been doing this outreach ever since 2016. Up to date, he operated about 504 patients, and he continues to do so at Chilzini Hospital, Letaba Hospital, Fort Trekker Hospital, as well as Mokopane Hospital. And he is doing this at the time at which we did not have the orthopedic surgeon. I think at that time it was only Professor Nilweni who was the only orthopedic surgeon. He continued even when Prof. Nilweni had retired as the only person coming to operate the femurs and so on and so forth. And to the Premier, what is important about orthopedics is that it's mostly economically active people who get injuries. And when you keep them on the bed for a longer period of time, you're taking them away from work, and most of them, they end up losing jobs, and that has got a negative impact on the economy of the province and country at large. So these patients must be operated as soon as possible. And also litigations, because if you don't deal with this fracture, Premier, it can heal. The nature takes its own course, and it heals in a very bad position. And they come and say, look, we want something like 2-3 million for this case, and still you must operate this patient and give us this amount of money. So that is the work that Prof. Machize has been doing. Colleagues, he is not with us, as I've indicated, but there's a colleague. No, there's a colleague. Is it Negota? Negota. Nevondo. Yes, Nevondo. For some reason, he has got a gap like me. I don't know why. Dr. Mlepo, where is Dr. Mlepo? Yes, Dr. Mlepo, please, you can come to the floor as well. Before you lose a miracle, before you lose a miracle. So this one is the orthopedic surgeon who is working with us full time at Letaba Hospital. And he started with the outreach. And you will be here as well as part of the team of orthopedic doctors. We can continue the round of applause, colleagues. Now, colleagues, okay. Thank you. We can continue the round of applause. It's not only about specialists. We also have medical officers who have been very loyal to the system. And for this one, it's an elderly person. But what is surprising about this person is that all the time when we had meetings, strikes, marches, all those type of things, he was always there. I remember the first strike, MEC, when we came to visit you there at the head office. It was in 2016. It was in 2016 when we came there on a peaceful march. And he was amongst those who were with us. Not chanting, not having placards and stuff, no. He came there and I was concerned. He said, no, but isn't this for maybe us, the young ones? And I approached him and asked, I said, Doctor, are you okay? He said, no. For as long as you guys are there, the forefront, championing the struggle of doctors, I'm fine, I'll just sit here. When you move, I'll march with you. And he has been doing that ever since. Not only that, he is working in a public sector. And for many years, he has been working there. And in a very bad, as in area, George Masebo Hospital. Colleagues, I've got the honor of presenting this award to the one and the only Dr. Hati. So if you can check as well, police, all the newspapers, when we're coming there, the pictures, you will always see him, Kakwamura is there to protect the kids. And that was because he's also a farmer, yes. We can sustain the round of applause for this. When the doctors at George Masebo Hospital had a strike, he was the first one to call me to tell me that, Dr. Muira, I've got these young fellows. What they are doing, I don't agree with you. I said, why? He said, no, look, they can't say that we are going to stay away from work until the MEC comes, and she must go and look for these the criminals, and then that one will go to work. And he said, no, I don't stand for that. That is not correct. They must go to work, and then we'll deal with these issues. That is the caliber of the comrade we are talking about. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. We can sustain the round of applause. Colleagues, the last one on this category, so it's a young fellow, very young fellow. Okay. It's a young fellow who joined us in January, if I'm not mistaken, February, January. Okay. It's like he doesn't even know that it's himself, which is good, which is good. He joined us in January at Mankweng Hospital. All the way from Free State. Now, with this one, there's a little bit of a story. As I've said earlier on, that we don't have a pediatric surgeon in the province. And this guy qualified last year, December. And the MEC knew about it, that no, there's a pediatric surgeon born somewhere in the country. And she issued an instruction that go hunt this man down, find him, get his CV, Z83, bring it to me. And it was a daunting task. It was not an easy one. We managed to get the numbers and so on and so forth, discussions and stuff. And he said, look, it's fine, I will consider it. I never stopped. At some point he was getting angry with me that, no, but Chief, you can't be calling me about this thing every day. But that was because of the desperation and also the pressure, because so we needed to deal with that, colleagues. Finally, he agreed that, no, it's fine, I will come and work. And obviously money was an issue. He said, no, but how much are you going to give me? I told him that, Chief, in as much as I would want to give you this amount, we've got rules and regulations. We've got ways of doing things and so on and so forth. He came the first time, we had a drink, I think it was Rooibos tea, Premier, it was Rooibos tea. We had Rooibos tea, and I continued to talk with him. And the MEC that day, I called there, I said, no, let me talk with him by myself. And they spoke, and after that, he indicated that, look, it's fine, let's give it a try. Gave me the papers, we processed them with the necessary speed. Obviously, Treasury, we still had to go there. This time around, I think it took about 2 weeks, which was not bad compared to the other times, and the colleague joined us in Mankweng Hospital. Now, of note here is that he is the only pediatric surgeon that we have in the province, full-time. Secondly, what I like about him is that he's a man who has got a lot of energy, and his work is proper. Compiled statistics. I don't know if he's doing this for PMD as bonus or what, but he compiled these numbers to say that I came in February. In February, I admitted 35 patients. I operated 22. There was no transfer to Gauteng. And Prof. Chifulara, I knew when he called me to say that, but Dr. Muira, I'm no longer getting babies from Mankweng. How am I going to teach my registrars and so on and so forth? So no, it's the high time that your registrars must come down here to acquire these skills here. Now, that is the impact that he has brought to the institution. Professor Shpala, she used to fight with me every day. I've got 3 babies, 4 babies that have to go to George Mukhar. There's no bed. What do we do with these babies? It comes to me as a manager. You sit there, try to think, but nothing comes forth. In March, he admitted 75. That is double the number. And he operated 45 of those. Only 2 or 3 transfers to George Mukhari simply because they had other complications. Now, this is the impact that this young man is having on the province, not just Mankweng Hospital, but on the province. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got the honor of calling upon a young fellow, Elliot Mutlogu. Let's sustain it, colleagues. Let's sustain it. So of importance as well, colleagues, is that Premier, when he came, Free State did not want to release him. They released him, I think, only on the second month. They didn't want to release him on the PESAL system, simply because the HOD was angry of Free State. No, but you fellows, you are poaching now. But because we gave him something, ourselves and the MEC, it's like, no, I'm no longer going back there. And he's here to stay. So thank you very much, Dr. Mklu. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's sustain the round of applause. Colleagues, we've only come to, we're left with 3. And this will be the last one, and I'm sorry to keep you standing. Those 2 will be the last one as we conclude the entire process. Now, we've come to that category, colleagues, of medical pioneers. These are professors. These are colleagues who have innovated things. These are colleagues who continue to challenge the manner in which things are done. And these are colleagues who, they are thirst. That he was all over the news about what he has done at the Steve Biko Academic Hospital, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it should be that one. Wherein he performed the world's first middle ear transplant using 3D bones. And colleagues, when we say the world, we mean the world. We mean the world. You must not think we are talking about Limpopo. No, we mean the world. He was the first one. And he's the one who is teaching the Europeans about these things. He has been invited, he has attended a number of conferences, academic conferences, he has chaired a number of sessions, he has innovated many other things. One of them that I saw when I was going through the sweeping, I saw that he innovated a condom, a female condom. I just don't know if it is already in the market, but Premier, rest assured, I don't know why the old man is saying how, because the wife is there, and this is one of the things that he innovated. Of note as well, colleagues, he's busy with his second PhD. He's busy with his second PhD. He's also a pastor. He's also a pastor, colleagues. Maybe this is an encouragement that, no, maybe we should be pastors. Seems like things are happening that side. Ladies and gentlemen, I've got the honor and privilege of presenting to you Professor Mashudu Chifularo. May we please rise and give him that honor. As he's coming, colleagues, what he did made him the President of the Republic of South Africa to tweet about it. But what is more interesting, colleagues, is that we are the first province to acknowledge him at the level of the head of government in the province. Physically, not just a message, but physically. And Prof, surely, after all that we've done, you must be thinking of coming back maybe in 2-3 months' time. Colleagues, we can sustain the round of applause. The young fellows, you can assist to carry that one. Sure. Thank you very much. We can sustain it, colleagues. Let's sustain the round of applause. So, colleagues, there's no reason why we can't do these things here in Africa, in Limpopo to be specific. He comes from here. He did matric in Biwi Secondary School. I don't know if he was in the first class that started with the distinctions or what, but he did matric in that particular school. Colleagues, the second one, he was born in Zimbabwe. Trained in Britain, UK, and after that he said, look, this knowledge I want to share it with the South Africans, and not just South Africans, but in Limpopo. And he came to Limpopo to work at Pietersburg Mankweng Hospital Complex. He also holds a PhD. And he has been having it for quite a number of years, possibly pursuing a second one as I speak. He has published a lot. And of importance, of note to the Premier, is that we've got babies that are born with cleft lips and palates. It's basically an opening here. The mouth communicates with the nose. I don't know if now Prof, you will kill me for saying this in a bad, like, you know, not saying it the correct way as per definition of a cleft lip, but in a layman's language, it's basically a patient who has got sort of a passage here. So those babies, the challenge is they cannot feed well, and that is the first thing. The second thing, as you know, as Africans, when you have a baby of that nature, you are most likely to be rejected in the society. Starting with your husband, you know, going to the parents and so on and so forth. And these babies, they are only operated after a month in the entire Africa. But this professor, he does it on babies less than a month. The youngest he did it, or he did on, was a 3 days old baby. And that was because he understood the material conditions in the community to say that I cannot allow this mother to go home with a baby of this nature. I've got to do something about it. Now, he is the only one who does it in Africa. And he told me today that, Dr. Muira, if there's anyone who wants to challenge me on this one, I've got 1,000. Anyone who can come and tell me that, no, in Groote Schuur Hospital they are doing it, I'll give that person 1,000 immediately. And that is because of the confidence and the knowledge. He's the only one who does it at that particular stage. Ladies and gentlemen, obviously has done so many publications, international conferences, and so on and so forth. We'll not finish that CV today. But the most important thing is he's the only one who does this thing at that period. I've got the honor of presenting to you the son of the soil, is Mushabe. Is Mushabe as well. Is Mushabe. We call him Mushabe. Prof. Stena calls him Mushabe as well. Prof. Mzezewa, if you may please. I can give you a stand ovation as well. So colleagues, I work with him at Mankweng Hospital, and I must say that the level of respect he gives to individuals, irrespective of the age, is overwhelming. I'm talking myself as a young person, young to be the child of his child. That's the level of respect he has. Professor Mzezewa, of note as well, is that he's also very conscious when it comes to politics. Last week, not so long ago, he was actually telling me that, Dr. Muira, I can do breast reduction. I'm doing a lot of them in the public sector. I don't see why we cannot start to do these operations even for patients who have got medical aids, and we build them as the department and we generate revenue out of that. Now, the professor who says something of that nature, you can tell that no, this is not an ordinary person. This is a professor who is very conscious of the material conditions of the people and also the Department of Health at large. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Professor Mzezewa, the one and the only. We can give him another round of applause. The last one, but not least, can take a seat. The last one, but not least. I'm sorry if I've taken much time, but we believe as Sama that we must appreciate people when they are still alive. We don't want to be saying these things when a person is in the coffin, no. We want to share with the world and everyone about the work that they are doing. The last one, Honorable Premier, is a professor as well. 1983, he was qualifying as a surgeon, and 1989 as a cardiothoracic surgeon. He established the first cardiac unit at Chatsworth Hospital in Durban. Became the head of cardiothoracic department at Medunsa in the early days, and he spearheaded a way of undertaking any type of cardiac surgery, adult, pediatrics, in rural areas. Now, when I saw this on his CV, then it made a lot of sense. It made a lot of sense, colleagues, and I will tell you why it made a lot of sense. On the 18th of this month, that is April 2019, Prof did the first open heart surgery in Mankweng Hospital for the first time since 1996. And also it's important, colleagues, to know that before 1996, you may be asking yourself, who was doing it? before that time? It was him. It was him who was doing it. Together with Professor Pulu, who said, you know what, this is the first for our institution, this is the first for the province, we are not going. We'll stay here up until this operation is done. That operation, we finished everything around 10, 11, and then after that, we had to take the patient to ICU. They said, we'll only leave when we know that the patient is in ICU. When the patient was in ICU, their sisters, they would say, no, Dr. Mura, it's fine. Prof will teach us and we'll take care of this patient. They managed to take care of that patient until the patient could be discharged, early sharp. Now, colleagues, we have also decided this summer that every year we will appreciate non-medical persons who have contributed significantly, either to the medical fraternity or health system at large. And for this year, we said we'll start with the nurses of Mankweng Hospital, represented by Sister Mwasheng, representing theater nurses, and also Sister Upape, representing us. We can also give them a stand ovation. Are they not here? Sisters from Mankweng. Yes, you need to come this side. You don't want pictures with the premier. We can just have one from ICU and one from theater. Oh, I'm told all of them because you can come, all of you colleagues. You can come, all of you. Let's give them a stand ovation as well, colleagues. Let's sustain the round of applause. Thank you very much. I think I'm going to help you now. Watch out for fire. Right. Let's continue the round of applause. Now, Premier, this is one area as well when we are shooting. What is every time we hear more? Tell me that Dr.
And there are specialists, some of them, they went back, they've come back, they've not run away. The private sector is very lucrative. It is seductive in nature. It promises you a world where everything is almost perfect. But when you look into this room, these are your doctors, the champion, the everyday struggle of the black man and the black child. I would like to thank our sponsors for making this evening possible. I would like to thank the Honorable MEC, the Honorable Premier, during a very busy time, just almost 2 weeks before May the 8th, but you found time in your schedule to come and celebrate with the doctors of this province. It doesn't happen anywhere. Even in Gauteng, even in KZN, it doesn't happen anywhere. So, Raleleboha. I would like to thank the summer leadership. And of note, the branch of Limpopo in summer has been awarded consistently as the best branch in the country. It is not by mistake, Premier. We won that award so much they stopped giving it. Because it almost looked like capture. It was like that award was designed for us. Now, what that award simply says is that the doctors of this province care about the patients, care about this community, who majority of them are poor. We have one of the lowest coverage of medical aid in any of the provinces. And yet, with our almost 6 million people, we provide quality healthcare services. We have just of note from Mankweng given an example of what the future will look like with NHI. I want to also thank all the academics who have come from far. Do not take for granted what your results, what your sacrifices, your blood and your sweat. I am one person who a lot likes to reflect, because I believe that it is important to know where you're going.
From the MEC and the DDGs that no, go and find this man, otherwise what's it? We had started the discussions as early as last month, and the plan was that we are going to start these cardiothoracic operations on the 1st of May. That's what we had planned for. Then last week, Monday, the professor called me and said, no, I want to see you urgently, come to Netcare. Went to Netcare, saw the professor, and the professor presented to me that I've got these 5 patients in the order of triaging priority. This one, if we don't do anything about, she's going to die. We need to act now. I said, but Prof, this thing is not an easy thing. Can't we wait until maybe the 1st? He said, no. This can be done this week, not next. But I said, there's a long weekend, Prof. What's going to happen? The patient after the operation, because we've never operated a patient of this nature. He said, don't worry, Dr. Muya, I will sleep in the hospital. I said, but Prof, there's an issue. We don't have the perfusionist. This another person who does, basically takes the functions of the heart during the time when it has stopped. We don't have that person. The one, we have only one in Petersburg. I'm not sure if it will be available. Said, don't worry, we'll organize. The nurse, what about the nurse? Don't worry, here are the numbers. Speak with this person, I've spoken with them. Okay, Prof, it's fine. That was Monday. Tuesday, I'm hoping that Prof will call me and say, no, Dr. Mule, it's fine. Let's wait, or let's refer the patient to George Mukhari. Tuesday, he calls me and says, no, look, this is the list of things that I need to do this operation. You need to buy this. How much is it, Prof? 25,000. Okay, that's fine. That's the formal quotation from the company that provides those things. It comes back 148,000. But our Prof, you said 25,000, 148,000. How do I convince my CEO about this bill? It was not an easy task. I went to the CEO. Fortunately, that day, for some reason, the CEO said, no, if it's about the patient, it's fine. I'll sign. You sign him, okay, that's fine. Now, if we order those equipments, we need to use them. If we don't, she's going to fire us to say that is fruitless expenditure. You can't spend 148,000 and you don't do anything about it. I'm hoping that the operation will be cancelled. Wednesday, did not happen. Thursday, in the morning, Dr. Masinge, I was liaising with him throughout. I thought he would say no. He said, no, bring it on. I said, but Dr. Masinge, no. Long weekend, he said, no, bring it on, we'll do it. On that day, Thursday, we should have started at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock, it did not happen. 1 o'clock, it did not happen. 2 o'clock, it did not happen. Aircon stopped working in theater. Like Dr. Masinge, we have all the signs now that we need to stop with this thing. I went to see Professor. He was in the room eating, having lunch. He had arrived in the hospital at 6 o'clock in the morning. He was having lunch, and I said, Prof, don't you think? He said, no, don't worry. It will be done today. I said, no, but Prof, aren't we? He said, no, it will be done today. At exactly 3:15, I think, the patient was taken to another theater, and the patient was put to sleep. And that's when I realized that no, reality is kicking in now. And Professor had to go and scrub, come back, said knife, started to cut. I was waiting for the moment of the heart being stopped. We saw it stopping Premier, literally coming to a standstill. And that happened for more than an hour, working on that heart. He removed something of which I cannot show you, but those who are doctors, I've shown them, and it's quite huge. It's quite huge. After that, we had to wake up the heart. I'm thinking that if it doesn't wake up, you're finished. You're finished. I asked Prof, but will you be able to, obviously it was, it was a bad question because he's been doing this thing for years. But me being a lay person and sitting there, Dr. Masinge, do you think this heart will come back to life and do the goo-goo? I said, no, don't worry. Honorable Premier, it came back and it was sinus rhythm. Pulse, I think the starting one was around 60-something. I thought it would stop at some point. It continued. As I speak now, the patient is discharged going home. Walking. Now, out of that story, you would remember there were many things that we mentioned that no, you can't do this. You are not ready, man. Mangoing is rural. No, man. Where have you heard of this type of thing that you want to do? But with the support of the CEO, Dr. Masinge, Prof. Mushala, and Prof. Mariba. They said, no, this will be done and it can be done, it has been done before. Colleagues, I've got the honor and privilege to present to you the man who has put Limpopo on the map in as far as health is concerned. Professor Mushala, Lucas, if you may please come this side as we give you a conversation. Let's sustain it, colleagues. So, colleagues, of importance as well, after that operation, he then said, Dr. Muira, don't you like what just happened? I said, no, I do, Prof, I do. He said, look, I'm willing to can come and work with you guys. Full time. That's what we are doing. So Prof will be coming in the public sector to work with us full time. And he said, look, I'm old and I don't want to be alone there. I'll come there with someone that I'll groom. And he's coming there with someone. And already that process has started to unfold. And Prof, one thing I've learned about him is that when he says something, it happens. And I'm sure even this one will happen. So thank you very much, Professor. Thank you very much. Let's give you a round of applause. No. Please, on him, let us wave the Note 7 and get him as soon as from the MEC and the DDGs that no, go and find this man. Otherwise, what's him? We had started the discussions as early as last month. And the plan was that we are going to start these cardiothoracic operations on the 1st of May. That's what we had planned for. Then last week, Monday, the professor called me and said, no, I want to see you urgently. Come to Netcare. Went to Netcare, saw the professor, and the professor presented to me that I've got these 5 patients in the order of triaging priority. This one, if we don't do anything about, she's going to die. We need to act now. I said, but Prof, this thing is not an easy thing. Can't we wait until maybe the 1st? He said, no. This can be done this week, not next. But I said, there's a long weekend, Prof. What's going to happen? The patient after the operation, because we've never operated a patient of this need. He said, don't worry, Dr. Muira, I will sleep in the hospital. Yeah. I said, but Prof, there's an issue. We don't have the perfusionist. This another person who does, basically takes the functions of the heart during the time when it has stopped. We don't have that person. The one, we have only one in Petersburg. I'm not sure if it will be available. So don't worry, we'll organize. The nurse, what about the nurse? Don't worry, you have the number. Speak with this person, I've spoken with them. Okay, Prof, it's fine. That was Monday. Tuesday, I'm hoping that Prof will call me and say, no, Dr. Muira, it's fine. Let's wait, or let's refer the patient to George Mukhari. Tuesday he calls me and says, no, look, this is the list of things that I need to do this operation. You need to buy this. How much is it, Prof? 25,000. Okay, that's fine. That's the formal quotation from the company that provides those things. It comes back 148,000. But our Prof, you said 25,000. 148,000. How do I convince my CEO about this bill? It was not an easy task. I went to the CEO. Fortunately, that day, for some reason, the CEO said, no, if it's about the patient, it's fine. I'll sign. You sign him, okay, that's fine. Now, if we order those equipments, we need to use them. If we don't, she's going to fire us to say that is fruitless expenditure. You can't spend 148,000 and you don't do anything about it. I'm hoping that the operation will be cancelled. Wednesday, did not happen. Thursday, in the morning, Dr. Masinge, I was liaising with him throughout. I thought he would say no. He said, no, bring it on. I said, but Dr. Masinge, no. Long weekend, he said, no, bring it on, we'll do it. On that day, Thursday, we should have started at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock, it did not happen. 1 o'clock, it did not happen. 2 o'clock, it did not happen. Aircon stopped to work in theater. Like Dr. Masinge, we have all the signs now that we need to stop with this thing. I went to see Professor. He was in the room eating, having lunch. He had arrived in the hospital at 6 o'clock in the morning. He was having lunch, and I said, Prof, don't you think? He said, no, don't worry. It will be done today. I said, no, but Prof, aren't we? He said, no, it will be done today. At exactly 3:15, I think, the patient was taken to another theater, and the patient was put to sleep. And that's when I realized that no, reality is kicking in now. And Professor had to go and scrub, come back, said knife, started to cut. I was waiting for the moment of the heart being stopped. We saw it stopping Premier, literally coming to a standstill. And that happened for more than an hour, working on that heart. He removed something of which I cannot show you, but those who are doctors, I've shown them, and it's quite huge. It's quite huge. After that, we had to wake up the heart. I'm thinking that if he doesn't wake up, you're finished. You're finished. I asked Prof, but will you be able to? Obviously, it was, it was a bad question because he's been doing this thing for years. But me being a lay person and sitting there, Dr. Masinga, do you think this heart will come back to life and do the goo-goo? I said, no, don't worry. Honorable Premier, it came back, and it was sinus rhythm. Pulse, I think the starting one was around 60-something. I thought it would stop at some point. It continued. As I speak now, the patient is discharged going home. Walking. Now, out of that story, you would remember there were many things that were mentioned that no, you can't do this. You are not ready, man. Mankweng is rural. No, man. Where have you heard of this type of a thing that you want to do? But with the support of the CEO, Dr. Masinga, Prof. Mhlala, and Prof. Mariba, they said, no, this will be done, and it can be done, it has been done before. Colleagues, I've got the honor and privilege to present to you the man who has put Limpopo on the map in as far as health is concerned. Professor Mhlala, Lucas, if you may please come this side as we give you a conversation. Let's sustain it, colleagues. So, colleagues, of importance as well, after that operation, he then said, Dr. Muira, don't you like what just happened? I said, no, I do, Prof, I do. He said, look, I'm willing to come and work with you guys. Full time. That's what we are doing. So Prof will be coming in the public sector to work with us full time. And he said, look, I'm old and I don't want to be alone there. I'll come there with someone that I will groom. And he's coming there with someone. And already that process has started to unfold. And Prof, one thing I've learned about him is that when he says something, it happens. And I'm sure even this one will happen. So thank you very much, Professor. Thank you very much. Let's give you a round of applause. No. Please, on him, let us wave the Note 7 and get him as soon. And the only person that I know can do the job is the man who is in private practice. How do we get that man? And he told us that, look, it is possible. It is possible. And this is the old man. Professor Mariba. Professor Mariba. So of importance as well about Professor Mariba, you will know that we have a medical school. At some point, HPCSA wanted to take the license, and Prof said no to that, especially when it is being done to fellow brothers, sons and daughters of the soul. This medical school has to stay there. So thank you very much, Professor. Thank you very much, Prof. And the only person that I know can do the job is the man who is in private practice. How do we get that man? And he told us that, look, it is possible. It is possible. And this is the old man. Professor Mariba. Professor Mariba. So of importance as well about Professor Mariba, you will know that with a medical school, at some point HPCSA wanted to take the license, and Prof said no to that, especially when it is being done to fellow brothers, sons and daughters of the soul. No, this medical school has to stay there. So thank you very much, Professor. Thank you very much, Prof. Visiting to get him to come and be with us at this event. Now, we then decided as the PEC that we need to give him a token of appreciation for having sacrificed this amount of time to come and sit here and stand and present these awards to the colleagues who are doing the government of Limpopo good. We just want to say, Premier, thank you very much for coming on board. Thank you very much for also coming on time. He arrived here at exactly 6 o'clock, and I was very scared because that time the hall was still empty. I'm like, oh God, what are we going to say now, you know? So, but things started to work out, and we wanted to say that, Premier, thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate your presence. We struggled a bit with what is it that we must give you. I spoke with your chief of staff, and he told me that, no, Premier is a golfer. Maybe you must get him that package. But and then he said, hey, but doctors are not challented, man. Afford, you know, and then he said, okay. I don't know, is there anything else? And then he said, no. Well, yeah, he's also a reader, but I should have bought that golf thing. You know? And then I said, no, we'll go for that one. After all, it's the thought that counts, to say that this is the little that we could afford, to say that, Premier, wherever you will be, let's hope you're not going to go and be an ambassador again. You will be with us forever. You will always remember us with what the chairperson of SAMA will present with Dr. Mawe. All right, that's fine. We can give them a round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you. And colleagues, as you would have seen, there were also trophies that are made of glass. Now those trophies, they were made by Lancet. The comrade from Lancet, who is he? Okay, he stood up. But they're the ones who sponsored those ones, and these are the ones that were sponsored by SAM. So we just needed to acknowledge them before we sit down. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, colleagues. I know this is probably the most difficult item to render because I'm standing between you and one of the most exciting parts of this evening. But don't worry, we're going to get there just shortly. My job is very simple. I just need to thank everyone who's made this night possible. When you celebrate after a period of struggle, after a period of hard work, and you look back and you reflect. Honorable Premier, what you are seeing here is a piece, and we're celebrating the struggles that the healthcare workers have gone through to innovate in a time such as this. And not only that, in one of the most rural provinces in the country, we have had the capacity of producing world-class doctors who have pioneered research that has shaken the world. Now, that is a note worth celebrating. I would like us to on top of that, Premier, we must not forget where we come from. We're a young nation, 25 years into democracy. There is no other country in the world that has reached the milestones that we have reached post-colonially after going through the struggles that we've gone through as a country and still stand after 25 years to produce professionals of this caliber. So we need to give ourselves a round of applause. Majority of the doctors that you are seeing here have been sponsored by your government to go to medical school.
let's not forget that. Doctors, they champion the everyday struggle of the black man and the black child. I would like to thank our sponsors for making during a very busy time. Just almost 2 weeks before May the 8th, but you found time in your schedule to come and celebrate with them. Even in Gauteng, even in KZN, it doesn't happen anywhere. So, rally level. I would like to thank the summer leadership. And of note, the branch of Limpopo in summer province to have a world-class, first in the continent, trauma hospital, and that we can clap hands for. I don't want to be a prophet. I know we have pastors in the house. I don't want to go into prophecy. I don't want to go there. I'm going to end off the night with a quotation. The quote comes from Frederick Douglass, who was a slave in America, and he freed himself. But after freeing himself, he did not go out and live the luxuries that were presented to him as an opportunity. He took what he had and he went back to free more other slaves. Because that is what each and every one of these specialists that come back into the province are doing. We're going to now be producing specialists at an amazing rate. And then I can tell you in the next 5 years, Limpopo will be a place of medical tourism. People will come here. They will come here to ask, Kanti, what happened in that rural province? The quote goes as such: power concedes nothing without a demand. It never has, and it never will. If there is no struggle, then rest assured, there is no progress. It is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. That is where I will end it off tonight. This is the part where you wanted. From now on, we're going to be networking. Food will be served. They will come and make an announcement on how we're going to go. But I think procedurally, you know that the table with our dignitaries will go in first, and then in that order, 1, 2, 3, and so forth and so forth. Unfortunately, because we are the South African Medical Association, we will provide you juice. That wine that you saw there is the leftovers from Easter. But we do encourage that please network, call all your other specialists to come back. The province is open for innovation, we're open for business. Limpopo will welcome you into a new South Africa. I thank you.